Hello, everybody. It's Wednesday. It is 8 p.m. and it is everybody's favorite time of the week with their favorite bare knuckleheads. Kyle and Mike's in the old producer room there doing his goddamn thing. How is everybody doing? How was everybody's Wednesday? Mine was awesome. Of course, I am still homeschooling my kids on Wednesday, so Wednesdays are pretty fucking interesting for me. Either way, I had a good time, spent some time out at the park again, and let me shout my sponsors real quick before we get moving here. Of course, we got Holding Hands Massage. They are a registered company with the Department of Veteran Affairs, so go to holdinghandsmassage.com if you're a veteran or a soldier. And book yourself a appointment with Jackie because she will fix your broken self. And if you're not a veteran or a soldier, just go to massagetherapist.com and you can make an appointment that way. And we also have killfootclothing.com. Of course, Killfoot Clothing are the makers of the Mission Accomplished t-shirts, and they are veteran-owned, American-made apparel, and they're awesome. So go to www.killfootclothing.com and check out their line of stuff. And it looks like my guest of the evening is here in the green room. So I'm about to bring her in. And I'm going to pronounce her name correctly. I am positive. I've been practicing. And hold on. I'm going to cheat because I wrote it down. And I'm not going to fuck this up. God damn it. Here we go. Her name is Maia Kahuanaele. Kahuanaele.
That's close. That's good.
God damn it. What do you mean it was close? How did I fuck it up?
Well, like, I'm not... I'm sure, like, I think in Hawaii it's hyphenated, so it's like Kahuanaele. But does that make... Did I just sound like what you sound?
I thought so. I don't know. How are you? Are you frozen? Uh-oh. You're kind of frozen. Where are you at?
Oh my gosh, sorry. I'm trying to get my head in the thing.
Where are you currently located, Maia?
Is it not? I'm in Texarkana.
Yeah, what's in Texarkana?
Can you hear me? Sorry.
I can hear you, yeah.
So I'm here with my team, and they're fighting for MMA promotion, Peak Fighting.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and are you going to be cornering somebody, or are you just there for support?
Oh, no, I'm cornering them.
Nice. And is it a male or female fighter? Weight class? What are we talking about here?
I have 3 guys, 2 170s, and then a 55.
Well, good luck. Best of luck with that. But we are here to talk about you and your current career as a bare knuckle fighter. Maia has signed with the BKfc. She has 1 fight under her belt, and it was against Helen Peralta. Can you explain to me this? When you fought Helen, she was the champ, but it wasn't for the title?
I'm having trouble.
Oh, no.
What? I'm sorry, what?
When you fought, are you on Wi-Fi?
No, this is shitty. I'm sorry.
Are you on Wi-Fi, or are you just using your service right now?
Am I on Wi-Fi?
Yeah, because in
no, I guess I was. Is it good now?
I don't know. I mean, you sound all right. You're a little.
Do we have the Wi-Fi?
You want to try to get on Wi-Fi?
I'm sorry. This.
It's okay. This happens more often than not, believe it or not.
Is it better?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can not hear you too well.
Oh, boy.
Do you have that Wi-Fi password?
How about this?
Okay, wait. Right there, right?
Wait, yeah, right there's good. What are you, in a closet?
Okay.
So in that in the
high.
closet, in the closet that you're in, you can sound pretty. Oh man, and I fucking lost her. All right, we're gonna give her a minute to try to figure this thing out because we need to talk to her about all kinds of things, about all these girls in the Texarkana convention Wi-Fi sucks. I know personally. Thanks, man. Yeah, that does suck. I've had 4 fights for Pete Good Promotion. Johnny Ross is an amazing guy. All right, it looks like she's popping back up. Let's see if we can get her back on here. Hello. How are you?
Hi.
So I was just
Good, how are
told
you?
by somebody in the comment section that Texarkana convention Wi-Fi sucks ass. So
Oh yeah, horrible. Horrible.
all right, so let's try to get some interview in before I lose you again. You are fighting with the BKfc. When can we see you in the ring? Do you have an opponent, and what's taking so long to get you back in there?
I was nursing a few injuries for a while after the Helen fight, so it took me a minute to get back. I started, during that time focusing a lot on the team. We have a really great team out of 10th Planet Oceanside. So, just keeping those guys motivated. And obviously, like, because California wasn't open, we're here in beautiful Texarkana, trying to get fights in and stay busy. And that's kind of really what happened with me is like, I had the injuries and then COVID happened. So hopefully I'll be, it'll be an active summer for me. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Now, what I was asking you before I lost you, your first fight was against the reigning champion, right? That was kind of like getting thrown right to the wolves. But explain to me how, and I never, maybe I'm wrong. What, that wasn't for the title, right? For some reason, she was the champ, but the title wasn't on the line for that fight. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, she was really cool. Like because generally I fight at 115, so it was more of a catch weight. So the title wasn't on the line at that particular time. I think she ended up vacating it. So I'm not really sure what the whole situation behind that was, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't for the title, and it was, it just kind of I jumped into the deep end with my eyes closed.
All right, because I remember watching it, but I don't remember it being, what was it, 120? We went 120 for that fight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And what drew you over to bare knuckle as opposed to MMA? Because you had an 11 fight MMA career before. You did your stint in the UFC, you're on the Ultimate Fighter, and then all of a sudden BKfc was in your life. How'd that happen?
Well, because right after I got off the Ultimate Fighter, which is kind of when bare knuckle was first getting started, and they had contacted me because, the UFC was really cool. I went up a weight class for the Ultimate Fighter, so and then everybody kind of thought that I wasn't fighting for the UFC at that time because I wasn't on the finale, but the UFC had let me drop down to 115 and get fights at that. But at that particular time, like, during that, I think it was like around December, bare knuckle had hit me up. And honestly, like, I started boxing, like that's where I, began my combat sports career was in boxing. So it was always just something that I always wanted to get back to. And, it just, bare knuckle was just like kind of a crazy opportunity that just kind of fell in my lap to do at that particular time.
And now you were born and raised in California, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. And when did you start boxing? At what point in your life did you decide to go into a boxing gym?
It was like 2002 that I started boxing. I started boxing because my mom was the sheriff. She worked for the sheriff's department, and she had taken up like kickboxing and boxing, and so like I kind of just followed her into the gym, and then kind of just it took off from there. I had a bunch of amateur boxing fights and so forth.
Now you posted something the other day about a couple coaches that have been with you your whole career. Can you tell me about the Hurricane Hernandez and like is this guy? I only see what I see on TV. Is he as cool as he appears? Like that, he seems to be the funniest dude like ever. Like he was out there with McFarlane, Alima Leigh McFarlane, dressed as Lilo and Stitch. And what's he like? I mean, to put a
Oh,
post up there that says like he means everything to you, he must be something.
like I mean, Manolo kind of came in. Manolo and Bill kind of came in, like right as soon as I got off the Ultimate Fighter. I was transitioning camps, and like he just kind of he took me in, and like it was at a really great time. Like I said, I was transitioning camps. I was I had a fight scheduled in the UFC. The camp that I was with, couldn't make the commute. And so Manolo came in and kind of like he's like one of your best hype man, for
Yeah.
sure. And he's
Well,
just as silly, even more so than he puts out there.
I actually showed my kid. My kids are like huge, Disney fans. We just took them to Disney. They're 10 and 6, and they've been like obsessed with Lilo and Stitch. And I was like, yeah, you got to see this. The girl that's coming on the show tonight, one of her coaches. And I showed them this picture right here, this one, and this one here. I didn't really notice the the temperature in the room there when I picked the picture out. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They were like, oh, she doesn't really look like Lilo, though. I'm like, I'm talking about the dude, man. Yeah. He seems like an awesome dude.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's really supportive of all the girls in the gym, and like where I'm at in San Diego right now. Because of COVID, it was almost a blessing, really, because like a lot of the girls kind of got together and we cross train with each other a lot now. So, I mean, yeah, it's super fun. So, and then I hope pretty soon we'll see him walking out in a different costume. Just hopefully not that one suit. Did you see that one where he was just wearing like a skin suit or whatever? It was like,
I don't remember seeing that. No, man, I'm gonna have to Google it. I didn't see that one.
Yeah, it's just like literally, it's called a Menehune. It's like a Hawaiian boogeyman.
Yeah.
And so like he came out, and then like Lima came out, dressed how she was, and he came out as a Menehune, and it was just funny. So, but yeah, he's just like literally in that skin tight outfit.
So you guys got like a whole bunch of well-known female fighters in your camp, right? Like, don't you train with Rachel too, Ostovich? Do you train with her, or is that?
I have. I have. I really like her. Hopefully, congratulations. She decided to come over to Bare Knuckle, so I'm sure her and I will be training together soon. And then I mean, look at my face. I'm in there with a bunch of badass bitches all the time. Angela Hill, Alima. There's a bunch of up and coming girls. Tyler Schaefer. Then we have Jenna Bishop. She's a bad black belt girl. She's really, really good. She just signed with the LFA, so she's been training with us. Jessica Panay came back. Coming back off a really great win. And so and then Paulina Granado. So I mean, it's a full room for sure.
That's crazy. And how is the training different right now for you? Like you see all the people on YouTube. I mean, no, there's a lot of people that want to be bare knuckle fighters, and you see a lot of them, and a lot of them have some fighting experience, but you see them punching sandbags and doing all this stuff. How is the training different for you? Being a boxer since 16 years old and having a career in MMA, and now you got to focus your training a little differently. What is the major difference?
It's really just, I mean, bare knuckle really is I mean, it's a fairly simple transition from MMA, because in MMA we do wear the small gloves, and then between the big gloves and the small gloves, and then bare knuckle, there's inches make a lot of difference. So being able to spar with small gloves and spar that way, that's always helpful, and it's always still implemented throughout the camps. I'm not punching random shit bare knuckle. I mean, everybody has their own process, I don't have to. I'm not the kind of person that's just gonna start, punching sandbags and post it on YouTube. I'll leave that up to the YouTuber and the TikTokers to do
Yeah.
that. I hear they're boxing pretty soon. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
but as far no, did you hear about that? Oh my goodness.
Right.
No, but it's just as far as like general training, it's just really the same. It's a grind, but the strategy behind bare knuckle, it was a lot. It was a learning experience, and I'm glad that I did get to fight hell in my first go because I learned a lot from that. There's it's not boxing, it's not MMA. There is a technical aspect to bare knuckle that you kind of have to be in there. I mean, it is just at the end of the day, it is a brawl because
Yeah.
you could be a really great boxer, but the guy that wants to brawl with you, that's why I think I love Christine because I feel like she's been the best at being able to box with a boxer and then brawl when she needs to. So I think that's why she's found so much success in bare knuckle. And I think a lot of us will try to emulate that in the future. You can't just strictly bob and weave and box and parry punches. At some
Right.
point you have to kind of like let that animal part out.
Were you surprised by like how fast the pace is? Like, I noticed like a lot of people when they're making their debut in bare knuckle, they get surprised right off the line because when you toe the line and then you start the fight, the action's happening almost instantly. As in like an MMA fight, you guys are coming out of your corners and you're kind of like feeling each other out for a second. I've noticed that in BK, dude, the hands start flying like right off the rip.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually, that is, it's funny that you bring that up. That's super smart of you to kind of know. That was one of the things that surprised me is like, as much bare knuckle as I had watched at that time, I didn't understand like the whole toe the line, like they were just standing right in front of there and you put two chicks right in front of each other, they're just going to start throwing, chucking punches. So that's another thing too, you have to be ready to, immediately, throw blows, especially when you have when you're towing the line right there.
Yeah, it's that's what I think surprises most people because like even like the championship level boxers like Paulie Malignaggi, what I mean, Paulie Malignaggi came into the BKfc ring like thinking he was going to go mop the floor with Artem, and like as soon as as soon as they towed the line, yeah, he thought he was going to box him to death, but the second it started, Artem hit him like within the first second of the fight. You know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, this is a little different. You know what I mean? Now,
it's completely different.
do you have? Okay, and someone in the comments here said that you and Rachel should both be on the same card in July. That's what they're hearing. Is that true? Are we going to see you in July? And I'm sure you can't tell us your opponent because for some reason, and this is not a shot at the BKfc, they don't put out opponents until like 2 weeks before the damn card sometimes, and it really starts to get on the nerves of the fan. But you could blink twice if you know who you're fighting.
Like obviously we, everything hasn't been kind of like finalized yet. If that were to happen, me and my girl on the same card like that would be great, So I would that would be a really great opportunity for the both of us.
Someone says in the comments, I was told to ask if Kyle Mish is going to start a brawl.
Like how I went around that.
I like how you did. Yeah, you skated right around it. Okay, since you can't talk about an opponent,
Are you dizzy? You're like, ah.
No, that's fine. I understand. I get it from everybody, really. Let me ask you this then. You got in the division, you got Taylor Starling, you got Teresa Segala, you got Britton Hart, you got Paige Van Zant. You ain't gonna fight Rachel. You probably won't fight Christine. So Jenny Savage, is there anybody on your radar that you want to fight?
Honestly, there's just at this point, everybody you're gonna fight whoever they offer you. If that girl wants to fight me, I'm gonna fight her. Hopefully bare knuckle, like there is only one division in bare knuckle right now, which kind of it limits a lot of us. And maybe down the line that they'll open up a few more divisions, and that I can find a home in one of those for sure.
Yeah, there, as the roster is starting to build up, there's definitely a few girls that have experience in the 115-pound division, and there's a few that have made it clear that they would love to go to the 115 division. So, I would say give it another year or so. The way the BKfc is growing and how fast the roster is growing, I would imagine, maybe not in the next 6 months, but maybe in the next year, you got another 15, 20 girls in there, and you could put together a 115 division.
Oh yeah, for sure. And even some of the heavier divisions. I mean, I'm not against watching some 135, 145-pound girls go at it. That's super exciting too.
Yeah, tomorrow night I'm going to have Jamie Driver on, and I'm curious to talk to her about it because I know she's a 145er. She says she can make 135, but still, she's a big girl, and I don't think they have anybody for her, right? I'm curious to see what she says.
Well, if they don't get any of us active soon, they're gonna have to make like a bare knuckle broad calendar, just to give us something to do right now. I mean, with all the good looking girls that they're signing between Jamie and Rachel and Paige and all that. I mean, God,
Yeah. And the Serbian girl too, Nadja, she's pretty odd too. So yeah, they could probably make a calendar right now.
Oh, Nadja? Oh yeah, right.
Right. So
huh?
yeah, they could already do that. So on my show, we do a thing called the speed round where I ask a bunch of questions that don't have anything to do with fighting, just to get everybody familiar with the person and they kind of enjoy hearing the off the wall answers. You want to do it before I let you go?
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I got your sponsors there at the bottom too. I've been putting them on there. I had your socials on there earlier too, so we can get everybody following Maia and shouting out your sponsors. So let's go ahead and let's do this. Let's do a speed round with Maia Kahuanaele. Kahuanaele? No, it's close.
That's close.
It's close.
That's good. Acceptable.
Acceptable. All right. I'll take it. Number one, if you could be any animal, what would it be and why?
I'll take it.
What kind of animal would you be and why?
A honey badger, because they don't give a fuck. No, just
It's a good answer. A honey badger don't give a fuck. I've
been waiting forever to use that. I just never had the opportunity.
Man, that is a throwback too. The honey badger don't give a fuck. Numero 2. Describe yourself in 3 words.
I'm pretty sensitive. I'm funny. I think I'm funny, and I have a good sense of humor.
There you go.
Is that like the same thing though? No, I laugh at jokes.
No,
I laugh at jokes.
Having a sense of humor and being funny is not the same thing. We'll take it. If you had access to a time machine.
Now it's just in one tight little package right now.
If you had access to a time machine, where would you go and where and when would you go?
Back to the 80s and to like a Stevie B concert for sure. With my hair in a side pony and
a crop top.
My acid wash and a crappie, yeah.
A crop and acid wash jeans. I love it. All right.
Oh, guys. Yeah.
What was the last movie you watched?
Tombstone.
I
love that movie.
When did you watch that?
Like one of those ones you can watch like over and over. Huh?
Hell yeah. When did you watch that?
You never seen it?
No, I've seen it plenty of times.
Because I just watch it every once in a while. I'm feeling like, like just, it's a good movie. It's like one of those ones that never gets old.
Hell yeah.
You can only like You can only hear all those Doc Holliday lines, and they never get old. He's got 2 guns.
That's a fucking hell of a movie. I'm just surprised. You don't hear that very often from people. All right, here we go. What is one item you could never live without?
My toothbrush.
Dude, I asked my kids that question today.
I'm just saying,
My kid said his pants. He said his pants. My other one said his shoes. And then the other one said, and then the other one said again, what about my TV? And I was like, dude, I was waiting for that shit.
Yeah, I mean, my kids run around, like, my kids barely wear their underwear. Now that they do this distance learning thing, like, they put their laptop on their lap with their underwear on and just barely put a shirt on. So, yeah. I mean, pants are optional, I guess.
It's a good world. All right, what was the last thing you Googled?
Texarkana. I was wondering what there was out here.
And the answer was nothing.
And everything closes at 9. No strip clubs. It's a pretty crazy place, Like, I'm just, bordering Texas, Oklahoma, like, it just, I don't know. But I mean, obviously there's an airport here, so people make their way out here.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even know where Texarkana is. Is that in Texas?
So I guess it's like bordering Texas and Arkansas, and and you can be on either side, but you can still be in Texas. I never even heard of it before this, but it's really green out here.
Well, that's good.
And, it's a little humid. Yeah, I could totally weather girl it for you, but yeah, I mean, that's all I got is it's green and it's humid.
Green and humid. All right.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Like a greenhouse.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. What's your favorite fruit?
My favorite fruit. Okay, don't make fun of me, but I really do like pineapples.
Pineapples? I love pineapple. Yeah. I love pineapples too. I eat them all the time.
Pineapple's my safe word too that I use. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. You got that right.
Yeah. All right. I hear what you're saying. What about kiwis? Is that another one? Like another stereotype? Is that kiwi?
Kiwi. You know what? I don't know, but I mean, I do like kiwis, and I've never been to New Zealand, but I would love to go there.
You know what I do? I eat kiwis whole.
You eat the fuzzy part?
Yeah. People think I'm weird for it.
You eat it like an apple, yeah.
Right. And I just spit the little stem parts off. I also eat an apple whole too. Core and all.
I heard that. Have you ever heard of people eating the potato though? People eat a raw potato. That's the crazy thing to see. You did, huh? I knew it. I could tell.
I do. I eat a whole potato. Yeah.
Do you like salt it? Do you salt it?
Yeah, I put salt on it and I eat it like that. Is that weird?
No, I just, you know what? I guess not, because I've heard of it before. I mean, I've never eaten a raw potato. I mean, do you peel it first and then bite into it? Or do you only eat the red ones? Do you like the creamy one? I mean, there's so many varieties of potatoes. Like, are you picky about which ones to eat?
It depends on how much time I have, I guess.
If you just pop it in your mouth.
You know what? And I'm going to tell you this right now. Next time you eat an apple, eat it from the bottom, hold it from the stem and eat it from the bottom down, and there will not be a core. You just got to spit the seeds out.
For reals. What about that? That's, where the seed is and it gets kind of like.
You might have to spit that out too, or you can just choke it down. I mean, it depends on how gangster you are.
Now I feel like that was a challenge, so I'm just gonna.
Well, get yourself an apple, and I expect to see the video. TikTok.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, have you ever done that cinnamon challenge thing where you put the teaspoon of cinnamon in your mouth?
I did try that. I used to work in a restaurant, so I tried that, and I didn't survive. I had to scoop it out with my finger.
Oh God, it's horrible. It just gets stuck in there. You
tried it?
Of course. Dude, I have kids. Like,
There you
you know,
go. I think there's another
I
one.
got.
Like, can you eat like 10? Is about it's something about a saltine crackers. Like eat however many saltine crackers in
You
under a
can do
minute.
that. Yeah, you can do that.
I ate a Big Mac
Oh,
in
you got
one
to
bite.
time it.
Yeah,
No, I like saltine crackers.
I ate a Big Mac in one bite in a minute and 20 seconds last week on this show.
I gotta go watch. I'm gonna go back and watch that.
Yeah, Alicia Zapatilla
You
was
didn't get
on
it
the
all
show.
over?
No, just right in this stupid
Oh yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah. She's cool.
All right.
Yeah, that's cool. I heard you can't drink a gallon of milk though. The gallon of milk, right?
I wouldn't try that. Favorite TV show of all time?
Favorite TV show of all time. Oh, there's this one called it just sticks in my head. It's called OA, but it only had like one season. So,
I don't even know
but
what
it was
that is.
actually. Oh, I know. No, not a lot of people do. It's like, it's a pretty trippy show. There's only one season, so obviously, I liked it. It was a pretty quirky show. So, but it was original, which is why I think that it stuck with me and I like it.
Is it on Netflix?
But now I'm watching the Mayans. I'm not really. I think it's on Netflix. But now I'm into the Mayans.
Oh, there you
watch,
go.
I watch all that good stuff.
What is your favorite non-combat sport?
Football.
Football.
And I love football.
Yeah, who's your team? Chargers?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Well, you know what though? At least the Padres are doing good. Like Chargers aren't here, but I got Padres. I love Petco Park. I'm not a big baseball fan, but if San Diego is, if I'm with them if they're winning.
There you go. And the last question on the speed round, which went a little long because we got into some fruit talk for a second there. What advice did you get that was the most rewarding?
The best advice I've got is, something that I've, fighting, they always say is like 80% mental. And I've always kind of just, I've always put the work in the gym, but sometimes struggled showing up to my fights and performing in fights. So, and it was mostly, I just, and it stuck with me is that giving myself permission to, to win, to be great, that's really great advice for me.
Giving yourself permission? Is that what you said?
Yeah, you got to give yourself permission to be great.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't ask for permission for anything.
Take all that stuff. So that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Standing over there with your guns, nobody probably tells you no.
You know what this shirt is? It's the Ultimate Warrior, like 1980s style.
I could tell, yeah.
Yeah, you were talking about going back to the 80s and stuff. So, yeah. All right. Well, thank you. And
that was honestly my, and I liked it.
Your favorite what?
Thank you.
You know what? Listen.
Oh no! Thanks for having. Oh, that's my favorite time in wrestling is back then.
Yeah, it was the best years. And I'll tell you right now, we powered through a little bit of a delay and sort of a crappy Texarkana connection, but I think this went really well. And I would like to have you back on one day when we have a good connection and we can shoot the shit a little more. Best of luck to you and your team. And I can't wait to see you in a BKfc ring. Let me know when you got an opponent.
I got you. Thank you.
All right. You have a good one. Okay.
You too. Bye.
Yeah, bye. All right. That was Maia Kahuanaele. Kahuanaele? Something like that. I tried my best. Up next, I have a great friend of mine, U.S. Army veteran, Joseph Rogers. Here he is, my man. What's going on, Joe? Yes.
My man, Mish. What's going on, brother?
I just talked to another BKfc fighter, Maia Kahuanaele, something like that.
I love hearing you try to pronounce that, man, and I'm not even going to try to attempt it.
All right. Well, you know what, man? I'm going to tell everybody who you are real quick, and then we'll start talking some shit, okay? This is U.S. Army veteran Joe Rogers, my man Joe Rowe. He deployed with me in 2008 and 9. He is a recruiting extraordinaire, but he is also everybody's favorite new photographer, J. William Photography. Joe, I didn't know you were into photography. I didn't know that about you. We'll talk about your military career in a minute, but how'd you end up getting into that stuff?
Honestly, man, to be honest, when cell phones started having better cameras, I would just take my time to set up a shot, and people would comment on it. And apparently, I had the eye for photography. So I ended up taking a class at Manchester Community College to learn a DSLR, which is the professional cameras, and I learned a lot. Kind of excelled through that course, and then it's just kind of learning on the job now. But kind of to backtrack a little bit, my grandfather served 35 years in the Army. He retired as a command sergeant major, and he was also a photographer and actually instructed photography at a college. So I always knew he was a photographer. He didn't do the type of photography that I'm doing. He did more landscapes and things like that, but he was using like film and going into dark rooms and processing his own stuff. And I wish I would have been into this if he was still on this earth, because be able to pick his brain and show him the work that I'm doing. So anyway, I started thinking about what I wanted to do post-military career, and I know I don't want to work for anybody. That's for sure.
Hell yeah.
And I started just doing some photo shoots for some friends and seeing what the quality of work that I was putting out compared to some people that have been in the industry for a long time. And I'm not downplaying their work. It's just, I was like, all right, I'm pretty good at this, and just continued to learn. Always on YouTube University. And now what I'm really excited that I'm getting into, like, off-camera flash and like just getting real creative with light setups and using this stuff called atmospheric aerosol to create like a smoke effect. And I'm doing some pretty cool stuff with some local music artists in the area that are trying to get their music out there. So just trying to be well versed in everything. You know what I mean? So yeah, I really enjoyed doing it. Yeah. So
dude, so
that's kind of it in a nutshell right there.
I don't know where you went to. Where'd you go to high school, Joe?
Killingly High School.
Did they have a photography program at your school? But you didn't take it?
No, that wasn't for the cool kids, man.
So listen, I took photography because I don't know about you, but I took like what I thought would be the easiest courses. My senior year, I took the classes that I needed to, and then I took like a clay class. I took a photography class.
Mm-hmm.
I got kicked out of the clay class because I made a vase, and if you know what I mean. Yeah,
a vase.
A vase. Yeah, I made a vase, and Miss Sullivan, the school principal, called me down there, and she was like, "Kyle, explain to me what this is." And I was like, "That's a flower vase." She goes, "Oh, really? What's why is it curved?" I was like, because it's art. She's like, "Why is there a hole at the bottom?" I was like, "That's so I was like, so air can get in. So, it needs water and air to breathe those flowers." She was like, you're going to take this to clay class and you're going to smash it. And you just picked up another study hall. I was like, motherfucker. But anyways,
oh man.
So
you had to smash it?
Yeah, I had to smash it. And then I lost the clay class for the year, man. So I'm telling you this, I loved the photography class, and we took like old school photography, and we had the dark room and like developing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And it was great.
I've always been into art, man. I've always, growing up in like middle school, like my 5th grade teacher used to let me draw on my desk, right? I could draw whatever I want. So I drew like Calvin and Hobbes and just Ninja Turtles. And like, I was really decent at it. Like if I looked at a picture, I could draw it. And then for whatever reason, I drifted away from it. I don't know why. I just drifted away. But now my son, his favorite toys are the ones that I draw. you know, and I see you do that for your sons too, man. And that's, you know, we got that creative mindset, you know what I mean? That creative flow that happens, man. That's, yeah. I've
always been into it, dude.
I do that. Yeah.
So,
I wish I would have taken more art classes in high school, and, you know, the photography, and I don't know, I probably would have made the same thing that you did in clay class, you know, but hey, here we are now, man, you know, 38 years old. Found something I'm really passionate about outside of the military, and I can make money doing it, and I can make people look good and lasting memories for a lifetime. And, you know, it's a cool gig, man. I really, really like it.
So I want to get into the comment section real quick here. Joe Ivy asks, are there any examples of your work? And I got your social medias at the bottom there, Instagram, Facebook, and your website, jwilliam.photography. I'm assuming she could see all your work there, right?
Yeah, if you go to my website, you can see everything. And then even on my website, there's a link to my Instagram and Facebook. So if you want to go check out my work, it's real simple, jwilliam.photography.
Now,
I've been shooting professionally now for like 2 years. So like, I'm just, hold on, I just lost my light.
Holy shit, Joe.
There we go. There we go. Sorry about that. Lights out.
Yeah. Hey, another comment by the same person actually says he looks like a young Eddie Alvarez. And I'm going to show you once you get your light figured out. I'm going to show you something here.
All right, hold on, give me a second.
You got to pay the bills, man. You got to pay the electric bill.
Dude, I tried to get a cool setup going, man, you know, and here we are, dude.
Okay, well, this is young Eddie Alvarez here. Young Eddie Alvarez and Joe Rogers.
What's up, Eddie?
Eddie Alvarez, the king of the the underground king, the most violent man in an MMA right there, aka Joe Rogers. So let's talk a little bit about military for a minute.
It's funny because
oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, let's go for it, man.
No, go. What were you about to say?
No, I was just gonna say a lot of people mistake me as being Puerto Rican. My last name, Rogers, actually used to be Rodriguez. I'm Portuguese, and back when my great-great-grandfather came over, he changed it to Rogers to Americanize it, so you know he wouldn't stand out. Yeah, so got that Portuguese heritage.
Yeah, my name is Mish, and it was probably like Mish shithead or like Mish mission accomplished, maybe. I don't know, but it ended up being Mish. So me and Joe met like 13, 14 years ago, right before we went on a deployment, and we spent the entire time in Kuwait, and that was like a shit show of all shit shows, but it was fun as hell, right? It was fun.
It was fun, man.
We worked every day, but we worked out like crazy. You know what I mean?
We worked out like animals, played every sport. I mean, soccer, you know, basketball, softball, flag football, whatever.
Dude, the funny thing is, like, we played soccer in a soccer tournament. I hadn't played soccer since middle school. And
same.
Everybody was out there on a dirt field getting hurt. Like there was more injuries on the soccer field than like work related, completely, totally.
100%. That's why I said I'm playing goalie.
Yeah,
I'm not running out there with you fools, man. I'm gonna be out here playing goalie. Remember Tito, man, broke his knee playing in a basketball tournament. Ended up a wounded warrior.
Dude, and the funniest part about that is I was on that team. We were losing that game by about 30 points with 2 minutes to go in the game, and Tito fucking jumps out of bounds to try to save this ball and breaks his fucking leg. And I remember First Sergeant Bole and the commander went and visited Tito in the hospital, and Colonel Bolin was like, Joe, I really love your intensity and your hustle, but you do know we were down by 30.
30 points.
Yeah, you know we were down.
I was on the court when that happened too. Yeah.
Joe, tell us a funny or embarrassing thing Mish did when deployed together. Oh, you can tell a few, probably, but
Oh man, I probably could tell a few. I don't know. I don't want to incriminate you or myself.
I could tell her one that you can confirm. I went on an R&R to Qatar for 4 days. I ended up being like a 9-day trip, and I came back from that Qatar trip with the talent of running a dog tag chain up my nose and out my mouth. And I used to be able to floss my face with a dog tag chain. I don't know if I could still do it anymore because I got my nose fixed. Right?
Oh yeah. We had a guy on our football team my senior year, man, who used to do that. Told me do that all the time, and disgusting, dude.
It's Joe. Amy doesn't want to get on camera right now, but she's here. She says hello to you.
Oh, come on, Amy.
Dude,
hey, Amy, how you doing?
So, you know what I was just telling somebody about? I was like, man, what am I going to talk to Joe about? Are you trying to get on screen? You don't know where the camera is. Listen, look at her. Jeez.
That was so creepy.
Yeah, she's a creeper. Somebody was like, hey, who are you going to talk to Joe about? I'm like, I don't know. We could talk about all kinds of stuff, all the freaks we had on that deployment. Remember there was one dude that the 4 puppies yellow, 4 puppies black. I don't remember that guy's name, but I fucked up and asked him how he's doing one night, and it ended up being like a wild ass. This is the conversation. I was on the way to the shower trailer, and I seen this guy. I can't remember what his name was. Bulldog, something like that. Bullock.
Yeah. Dude, was he the one that used to do like the karate
split
stuff,
dude?
In the middle of nowhere.
He's standing out there like this, in like a split, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man?" He goes, 4 puppies yellow, 4 puppies black, and I'm like, "What?" And he goes, friend of mine had puppies, 4 puppies yellow, 4 puppies black. Maybe I'll get a puppy. Or maybe I'll get electricity. I don't know. Or maybe I'll get a car. I suppose everybody needs a car once or twice in their life. And I'm like, what the fuck did I?
Man. That's the one thing about being in the military. You meet everybody. Every walk of life.
Yeah. So tell me this.
I'm recruiting them.
I was just going to say, that's a perfect segue. How often... maybe you can't even say this kind of stuff. How often are you getting like 17-year-old high school kids walking into the recruiting office reeking like weed? Like, what can I get? I mean, I can imagine. I don't know where you're stationed, but like, I would imagine like the Norwich office gets some pretty, interesting individuals.
That's the biggest thing. I mean, they have the flu. So, if they qualify otherwise, then they have the flu until they're, not sick anymore. And then we can process them. The biggest thing, man, I mean, 17-year-olds, they're not really coming to us, man.
No,
they're not. It's such a different, and right now with COVID, we're not allowed in the schools. Everything that we do is virtual, which we've had to kind of reprogram the way that we do business. It's definitely been more challenging. So we rely a lot on a referral market. So like, the dude that I just, enlisted from Eastern, he's talking to his buddies, you know what I mean? Guy that works at Stop and Shop, I'm giving him my business card so that he can kind of spread the word and try to get it in. But it's definitely the most challenging recruiting climate I've ever experienced, man. I've been doing it since 2012. So yeah, it's makes me take for granted, the times prior to COVID, when we could have free access to the schools anytime we wanted. And then, the last thing it's not fun doing a cafeteria table display. You're just, you might as well wear like a bright yellow suit because everybody just stares at you. Nobody wants to come approach to you.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit awkward,
I don't know how you do it, man. I don't know if I could do that job. I'll tell you, that seems like not one for me. Although I would probably crack a bunch of kids up and be like, they'd see me with my rank on and be like, oh, if this guy's in, I could join the military.
Yeah, there's I would say as a recruiter, I don't have to be sergeant first class. You know what I mean? Like I have to be personable. I have to almost be like a chameleon. So, if I'm taking that ride up to MEPS, which is like over an hour long, I'm asking, hey, what kind of music do you like? I'll throw on whatever, so, and I pretty much know every genre. So, and I can put them onto some hip hop or something that they've never heard of before, and they can share what they like and kind of keeps me up with what's going on in the, you know, the media game and stuff like that. So
Yeah. So, like, what is the average age of a new recruit nowadays? You say you don't get many high school kids. Are they like mid-20 kids that failed out of college or something, or college wasn't it for them or whatever?
yeah, I mean, any age between 18 and 24, really, you know. So most of the time, I mean, you're going to get some kids that join during their senior year. You might even get one or two high school juniors that do a split option. But a lot of them come like after they graduate. So they graduate, they realize like, oh man, college is expensive. You know, what do I got to do? You know, and we're constantly, we get lists from all the high schools, all the colleges. So we're constantly trying to get them on the phone to talk about the benefits. But you know, I joined active duty right after high school because I knew I wanted to do something. Like I didn't want to just stay in my town and just kind of be a low life. I
Right.
wanted to go to college eventually. I didn't know what I wanted to study. My dad served, both my grandfathers served, a lot of my cousins. So I was like, all right, I'll do that. But I didn't know about the guard, man. There was nobody in my high school talking about the guard. I wish we had somebody like me in the school, being a mentor and trying to kind of guide them, shape them into a good future because they need it, man. They need it. They have such a false sense of reality. Like everybody's going to be a millionaire. They're going to be an internet sensation. You know, they're going to sell a bunch of stuff on Amazon and make, bank. Like, no, that's not how life is, man. You gotta put the work in.
Right. And then
So
like you and you could find a career out of this thing because when I joined, I was going to go active duty. And the reason why I didn't go active duty is because my brother was active and I was going to follow in his footsteps. And Ryan was like, no, don't do this. Go National Guard, get a free college education. I joined I joined the National Guard, went straight into a deployment, got out, went to like a few semesters of college, decided that college wasn't for me, went on another deployment, came back and found a full-time job in the military. And here I am 20 years later. I hit 20 years Saturday.
yeah.
So
20. Congratulations, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, unbelievable. It's incredible how fast time goes by. But dude, without the military, I wouldn't have my wife. I wouldn't have houses. I wouldn't have cars. I wouldn't have I have the military to thank for every single thing that I have and own and the way I am and the way I conduct myself. I honestly think that every fucking kid should go into the service straight out of high school.
Seriously, unless you have a life-threatening condition that would stop you. I mean, nobody. And here's the thing too that's kind of crazy that I didn't realize as a recruiter is there are certain conditions, even though they're not life-threatening at this time, may not be till 70 years old, like a degenerative eye condition, right? So I was working with this young lady. She was going to nursing school, physically fit, like just perfect candidate, right? Permanently disqualified, no waiver authorized because she had psoriasis. She could
like a skin condition.
A skin condition that was treatable, with creams. But if she took they said if she took the anthrax vaccination, then she could die. So permanently disqualified for a skin condition. Had another guy, he had a brown dot on his eye, and they determined that it was a degenerative eye condition that he could get glaucoma or something when he was 65, 70 years old. Okay, so put a term limit to his contract or something. You know what I mean? Figure something like that out. So that
disqualified him?
So he could permanently disqualified, no waiver authorized.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, man. The hurdles that these kids got to go through, it's not easy to get in. Yeah.
Well, I'm appreciative of it. And I know that you're doing your best as a recruiter. To anybody that's been a recruiter for 9 friggin' years, my hat's off to you because I know that job right there chews some people up and fucking spits them out. And they don't, I've met some miserable recruiters in my career. So you're an anomaly, my friend.
Yeah, it's for sure, man. Like it just, resiliency, man, and anything that we do, having a positive mindset. I got 2 little boys. I gotta make sure I keep a roof over their head. I got a beautiful wife, that she's able to stay home with them right now, and I'm certainly blessed, man. you know, and I don't take it for granted. That's for sure. It's definitely recruiting is a ebb and flow kind of career, man. You're a superstar 1 month, and next thing you know, you're at some, you know, remedial training on a Friday night, you know. So it's good. It's overall good, man. The changes I see in these guys, you know, going through basic training and, you know, coming through the ranks, getting promoted to sergeant and stuff like that. It's just, yeah, it's a cool thing. Getting full-time jobs like us, taking advantage of the things they really locked on to the things that I told them early on, you know?
Yeah. And dude, when you achieve those ranks, man, like people might think it's cheesy or whatever, but like I'll tell you right now, when I joined, I thought it was going to be college and out. Then I was kind of I was kind of a little bit of a fucking wild man earlier in my career, and my commander kind of hated my ass. Then I made it to E5, and then I made it to E6, and then when I made it to E6, the commander that pinned me was like, as he's putting the rank on me, he was like, never thought I'd see you here, Mish. Like whispered it. I was like, you motherfucker. I'm like, well, thank you, sir. He's like, Jesus Christ. They're like, you know what I mean? And now here I'm a freaking 8 now. It's like insane to me.
You did it your own way, man. And people have always looked up to you anyway, you know, like regardless of how wild and, you know, maniac Mish you were, you know what I mean? You knew when to turn it off. You knew when to turn on Sergeant Mish and get the job done. You guys worked hard, man.
Right.
You know, you definitely deserve where you're at right now.
I appreciate that, dude. Now now let's wrap this up before we close this out with Mr. Joe Rogers of J. William Photography. Everybody needs to go check his shit out. His websites. We'll post all his websites to the page after this. We're gonna do a speed round with the man. I got some good questions for you, sir. I'm gonna throw the crisis hotline and the homeless vets hotline at the bottom there, like I usually do, or I try to, or sometimes I forget. But speed round with Joe Rogers. Here we go. Number 1, go to deployment DFAC breakfast.
Oh man, this takes me back to Arif John, man, when we were bulking, right?
Yeah.
So every morning during my bulk phase, I'd get there as soon as it opened up, 10 hard-boiled eggs, right? I'd get a bagel. I'd only eat half and smother it with peanut butter. 8-ounce glass of milk and a cup of oatmeal with a little bit of brown sugar, and I would devour that. Trying to stuff that thing down first in the morning, man. But gains, man, gains.
You know what was funny is like I would do that same exact shit. I would eat as many eggs and oatmeal and whatever as I could for breakfast, and then at 9 a.m. I'd go get a cheeseburger from Hardee's. Got to get those calories in, dude.
Remember we got those kits? Remember we got those Muscle Tech kits?
Yeah.
So I was following that to a T, man. So I was having that Muscle Tech shake at 9 a.m. eating, yeah, man, crazy amounts of food.
Those are the best times. Name your top 3 Notorious Big songs. Your top 3, not the top 3.
Okay. All right. My top three. Juicy, number 1. That's my favorite all time. Oh, man. Hypnotize. Even though it was kind of like a radio hit.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Man, that's hard to pick a top 3.
Oh, man. You got me with Give Me the Loot, The What, and Sky's the Limit. Those are my 3. All right.
Yeah, Sky's the Limit. Yeah, that's a good one, too.
Favorite Boston sports moment of your life?
First Patriots game I ever went to was a AFC divisional game. I think it was against the Baltimore Ravens, and we whooped them up, and it was just electric in there. So yeah, that was probably one of the best. The first time I got to experience Gillette Stadium, it was a playoff environment. Yeah, it was awesome. But best, okay, let me bring that back. 2004 Boston Red Sox World Series championship. Taking it home, man, and I was running circles around my apartment complex in Clarksville, Tennessee, at 101st Airborne Division.
Oh man, that was mine. Like it wasn't even like a one night thing. It was the 4-game comeback of the Yankee series when the Sox won. We were down at Dylan's Bar and Grill every night, getting stupid fucked up, and it was just the greatest time of my life.
Yeah. Yep.
Number 4,
for sure.
What is a food that you hated as a kid that you love now as an adult?
Brussels sprouts.
Me too. I
But
love
they got to
them.
be done right. They got to be done right. They got to be fried. They got to have, teriyaki sauce smothered all over them. Yeah.
All right, number 5. What is the most you ever put up on the bench, Joe?
345.
Dude, you know what? Me and you must have been working out at the same time, because that's the most I ever put up too. The guy that's waiting to come in here is probably putting up 550. I'll ask him the same question when he comes in.
Man.
I got Josh Burns about to come in here in a second. I'll ask him. Which of your tattoos is your favorite? I know you got a bunch of awesome tattoos. What's your favorite one? Do you have a favorite?
I think it's my grandmother's. It's my grandmother's signature. I don't know if you can see it. Oh. Runs right here.
You had her sign a piece of paper and you tattooed it on your arm?
It actually, it came from her Social Security card after she passed away. I just took it to my artist.
Badass.
Yeah.
Amy just said grapefruit, Kyle. Grapefruit. Yeah, I hated grapefruit as a kid. I love grapefruit nowadays. Yeah. My favorite tattoos are my kids, man. My kids on my arms. They're awesome. My shit. Yeah. All right, number 7. What is the highest you ever scored on an APFT?
Probably in the 280s. Back when I was a young buck. Yeah. I ran a 1242 2-mile. Probably
That's
did
too fast.
90% in the push-ups and sit-ups or something like that. Yeah.
Too fast. That's too fast, Joe.
I failed a couple of those too. So,
dude, I could never max the run. That was the one thing. I can max the push-ups and sit-ups every single time. The most I ever did was like 13:10 on the run, and that's the best I could ever do. I got the patch, but I threw it
like 2 seconds off or something.
Yeah, I ninja starred that shit right into the back of my locker and never put it on my uniform, because I knew when I had to rip it off, I'd have that stitch mark and look like a douche. So fuck that. All right, give me your Boston sports Mount Rushmore. 4 names as fast as you can.
All right, 4 names. You got Tom Brady. You got Larry Bird. You got I'm going Big Papi. I'm even throwing Dustin Pedroia out there because I just love that dude, man. And Teddy Bruschi.
Someone would kill you for not putting Bobby Orr on there, but whatever. If you could live
I'm not a big hockey guy.
Yeah, I know. If you could live in a TV sitcom, which one would it be and why?
Oh man. Probably Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Dude.
Just hanging out with Will Smith, man, just having fun, man. Just yeah. That'd be dope.
All right, and the best piece of advice you ever got from senior leadership in your military career?
Man, I was a private too, man. My first duty station, Sergeant First Class Lloyd, man. Always take the path less traveled.
There you go.
That was it. Yeah, that was it. And that was because I cut across the grass.
Yeah. Like you said about my career path, it wasn't the normal one, but we got to where we're at. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you gotta make your own way. So
for sure.
Before I let you go ahead and remind everybody where they can find your stuff, where they can book you. You're doing like weddings and everything, right? Like you're doing weddings and
so
all this stuff.
Now I'm kind of specializing in weddings. I have some second shooters too, so a lot of people are concerned with that. But yeah, you can find me on Instagram at j.william.photography. Social media for Facebook is same j.william.photography. And then my website is jwilliam.photography. And you can book me right on the website. You can send me an email, all that good stuff. So
would you ever want to go to a bare knuckle event and shoot some live action footage while me and Mike interview fighters?
100%, bro. I want to do a photo shoot of you and Mike, man.
Well, let's set something up. We'll definitely set something up.
I'm wear some apparel, man. I'll get you guys looking right for your social media pages, man.
Fuck yeah. All right, man. Good to talk to you. Stay in touch, and we'll talk about doing something like that. That'll be awesome. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Hit me up.
All right.
I appreciate you, bro. Keep killing it, man.
Yeah, thanks. Take it easy. Bye. That was my boy Joe Rogers. I've known him for 14 years of his 19-year military career. He's known me for 14 years of my 20-year career, and we're getting old just by saying those numbers. I feel like we're getting pretty fucking old. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my co-host for the Mike and Mish show in here, and we're going to – what's up, Mike? We're going to welcome the Hammer, Josh Burns, in right away. He's been in the green room waiting graciously, and let's go ahead and bring this – oh, shit. Let's go ahead and bring this man in. What's up, Josh? How are you?
What's going on, guys? Good.
What's up? What's up? Graciously waiting.
Graciously,
I like that. It's a gracious.
Graciously.
Very gracious.
Before we start this interview, Josh, can you see me and can you see Mike? Because last time we did this entire interview, you said you were staring at a black screen.
Right. Yeah, I can see everybody this time.
Yes. Number 2 question: how much weight do you push on the bench?
Oh yeah.
The most ever, or just what I do now?
The most ever.
How about most ever?
Well, most ever is only like 605. So
only.
Yeah, trust me.
Yeah.
I train with guys that warm up with that. So trust me, it's not much.
Jesus Christ!
In this group of 3.
You ever train with the Tiger Life dude, whatever his name is, the fucking big
Chris?
boy?
No, Chris. We're gonna train. We're gonna train together soon. So because he's gonna get ready for a fight. So we'll train together, but we haven't done it yet. But Chris is a monster. Trust me. I've seen some of the shit that he does, and it's legit retarded. He has like frog genes plus 8 genes all mixed in one. It's wild.
You know, he's got like insane agility for a guy his size, like doing cartwheels, and like he's like a Chris Farley but with muscles.
Bro, he does from a seated position and does a box jump that's like I think almost 5 foot high. Like he just seated to a jump. Like it's insane. That's why I say he's got like frog genetics.
Yeah, no biggie.
No biggie. Go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead. No, you go. Go.
I was just going to talk about the bench press. I was going to say if 605 is your max, what do you rep with? You rep
well,
in 5?
So yeah, I haven't done that in probably like 5 years, just because every joint in my body hurt after doing that. So now when I get in fight camp, I do like 5 sets of 20, and I don't go over like 275, 265, 275, depending on how I feel, and I just do sets of 20 to get 100 reps in. So it's more about muscular conditioning.
There you go.
What I was going to say was, did you see the Instagram? What's his name? Chris? Is that what you said?
Yeah, Chris.
So he was, what did he do? Jumped and like he flipped over the bench. He was doing flutter kicks and he was lifting, I don't know how much, but he was doing flutter kicks, and the guy's very agile he's a big dude. He's like agile. He could probably, be as agile as I'm a small guy, so I'm super agile, but I don't lift a lot of weight. But I feel like he hits me and you at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's a beast. Chris is a monster, bro. He's a monster, and we've done pad work together and stuff. But we're gonna actually, when he gets ready for his actual fight, we're gonna do some more serious training. He's with Tiger Life, obviously my main sponsor. So he's with them, and he does. He's just wild. He's a strong son of a bitch. I'll just tell you that. Real strong dude.
Are you talking? We're talking more about him right now than you, but we'll get to you in a second. Are you talking BK bare knuckle or?
That's my understanding. That he wants to. He's had some MMA fights, so I think that he wants to dabble in the BKfc at least one fight.
Wow.
So that means he's got to cut like 40 pounds then.
No, Alabama's the only shit state that makes that they don't even know what the fuck they're doing. They're so ass backwards. They run their boxing because bare knuckle boxing, they put it under MMA rules. That was the only state. That's the only state you had to get. This is boxing. We go by boxing rules of boxing weight classes. Yeah. So anything over 205 is heavyweight, and it's unlimited. And they were the only state. And to be honest with you, half them dudes they're super nice people, but they don't know what the fuck they're doing. God bless them. They literally didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know that they had rules. They didn't know what type of rules. Hell, I got a list of medicals that was like fucking 10 pages long, and it was retarded. It was bad. It was it was an experience. I'll tell you that. Great people, nice people, but it was wild. It was a wild experience.
So let's talk a little bit about Birmingham. The fight with Frank Tate obviously didn't go the way you thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
So going back, I remember watching it that night. and I just remember his length. I remember he's a very long fighter, and he uses his jab well. But I also remember you not moving your head much.
Bro, I didn't. Bro, let's just be honest. Look, I mean, call a spade a spade. You know, Frank Tate did great. You know, all credit to him. He's a great guy, and I know he'd fight me tomorrow. You know, he's that kind of guy. He'll fight anyone anytime. And the guy that I got was not the guy that fought toe the line. Was not the guy that fought Kleckler. He took some time off, got a new coach, and he focused on doing what would be best for him. And to be honest with you, his jabs never landed. He didn't land a single jab. And the thing is he used it as a pawing method,
right?
You know, to throw too. But why would you? I wouldn't throw a jab either. If I could just hit the guy with the right hand, he wasn't going to move. That's what I would do. And you know, I felt great. Had a great camp. Came in real light. Felt smooth, fast. Walked the path. Felt great. Got in the ring, and you know what? Shit happens, man. I shit the bed. I literally, they go. the ref was telling us, directing us to come toe the line, and I look at the ref and go, like right now, like right here, right. Like right then, I knew I was like mentally just something was wrong, something was off, and it takes nothing away from Frank. It's just, you know, sometimes we don't show up, and anybody that watched that fight would tell you the same thing. Like I was not the normal. I mean, even Frank said it. Frank said at the end, he goes, "I expected him to do a lot different shit." You know, he just stood there. You know, and then they pretty much just became a battle of attrition. How many shots I could take before I either was dead or unconscious. You know, and
Right.
Obviously, I took a few. You know, I fell back, cracked my head on the rope, which is not a rope; they're like galvanized pipe. So that wasn't fun. So yeah, it was a unique night, man. It was a unique night, and but you know what? You learn, you move from it, and you move on, and you get better yourself. So hopefully, I've had that kind of performance one other time in my life, and it was about 5 years ago. So let's just hope that's like a 5-year thing, and I got it out of the way, and I ain't got to worry about it for another 5 years.
Every half decade, you
right. I literally, come on, let's be honest. You've seen me fight before.
Right.
I literally didn't move, didn't do anything that I'm accustomed for myself to do. Whether I would have won or lost, that's not the point. The point is that I didn't move. I had no lateral movement. I had no movement. He was very telegraphed when he did his stuff, and it wasn't the beginning, but at about midway through, he just knew I was just going to stand there. I wasn't trying to slip or move, and you know, I got out of the way of a lot faster guys. I've made a lot faster guys miss, and you know, God bless him. You know, Tate did exactly what he had to do, and he smoked my ass that night. And hey, got to give the credit to him. You know.
Yeah, so it didn't go your way, but pulling back to before the fight, when it changed, when I was looking through like Facebook posts and stuff. So BKfc, they announced on, it was like April 27th, they announced at like 1:54 p.m. that Kleckler is out and Tate is in. But on your page at about 4:02 p.m., you're going on your second leg of your trip to Alabama. So did you find out on the road, or did you find out before you went? Because that was like 2 hours, you know. I was like, holy shit.
No, Nate and Dave called me on a conference call. I believe it was Monday before I got on the plane, and just said, hey, you know, Cluck was out, and said he tore his hamstring, blah, blah, blah. I was like, you got to be shitting me. Because remember, my whole career, I've literally never had anybody pull out but one time in my 16-year career. And at this level, never. And Sam Shoemaker 3 times, it didn't happen. You say whatever you want to say. All I can tell you is I know I was ready to fight all 3 times, and it didn't happen. So we'll leave it at that. And then that motherfucker goes on. Now he's fighting for a title. Then Kleckler, you know, super nice guy. You know, walked up, talked to me before the fight. You know, a lot of these people forget that they're talking to an educated motherfucker. I ain't your meathead. So, you know, I got my master's exercise phys. So you tell me you got a torn hamstring, that's called a grade 3. A grade 3, you're in crutches. You're not fucking walking. Okay, right. That's a fact. If you have a grade 2, you've got a brace and you're gimping it around. You might even have one crutch. Grade 1, yeah, you're just kind of limping around. And I can understand, like, yeah, I don't feel 100%. But, you know, the night of the fight, you know, God bless him, but he was walking around just fine. No limps, no tears, you know, was super nice to me. And I understand he explained it to me. He said he had a real serious tear back in the day. Maybe I think it was like 3 years prior or something like that, maybe 2 years. And his whole hamstring went black and blue, and, you know, they're going to pull out. And so, you know, now it looks like he'll be the one going for the title. Same shit with Sam Shoemaker. Pull out for me, get a title shot. That just seems kind of like the way it works. Fight Josh Burns, pull out from it, and then you're going to get a title shot. So
I wouldn't. I mean, we are nobody, but if I was a BKfc matchmaker, I wouldn't make that fight. I would make a Kleckler Tate rematch because Tate just beat you, and like that was supposed to be a title eliminator. So
yeah, but he's 2-0. So you got to look at it from the business side. So he's 2-0, Kleckler, and Tate was 0-1-1, and he did get beat by Kleckler. With obviously there was some disgruntled individuals with that fight. Tate said he hit him in the back of the head multiple times. That's why he basically stopped. And I said it too. I said when they fought, it looked like Tate just quit. I said, so I'm not impressed with Tate. He looked like he quit. Now, when I fought Tate, and I talked to Tate, and Frank's a great guy, and we explained that there's no hard feelings. He understood what I was saying in the interviews. But the Frank Tate that showed up in Alabama, it don't matter if I had my best night or my worst night. He was going to be a problem regardless. I still think I could have got the win, but that's going to be a fighter. That's a fighter in us. We think we get the win. Just like Frank Tate thinks if we fight again, he can get the win. But at the end of the day, he came in as a completely different fighter. And, obviously we didn't get to see a lot of it because I didn't make him fight. I just stood there. And when we tied up, it wasn't like we were like trying to wrestle a lot. We were both standing there, not even barely touching each other. We're just not even holding each other. We're barely moving. He didn't want any inside fighting, and that's where I should have fought, but I just stood there. And that's just the God's honest truth. And I mean, he would tell you the same thing. He's an honorable guy. So I played the outside game and obviously had a lot of firsts happen. I've never been knocked on my ass. Trust me, I got knocked on my ass. I had fucking, as we call it, baby draft legs a couple times where I was all over the damn place. So, yeah. And obviously I retired, verbally, as they called it, verbal retirement, because after the third round, I got knocked down again. I turned around, got right behind my knee, looked at the ref, and I was like, this shit's just not going my way. Like, it's just not going my way, and I'm going to get hurt. And he goes, well, you want to continue? I go, man, nah, bro, I'm just going to end up getting hurt. And he's like, okay, that's it. And, but
that is a commendable trait, because honestly, you look at a guy like, you look at this past UFC, Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson is one of those guys that's too tough for his own good, won't tap to a heel hook and gets his knee popped. You know what I mean? Like, you knew that you were in a position to possibly damage yourself going forward in your career, and you made the right decision. So everybody should,
well,
understand
I think it's
that.
The good thing is, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of these cats from America, Americans, we're stubborn and we're hard headed, and just die by the sword, live and die by the sword. And fighting in Europe for 5 years taught me. I was around some of the best fighters in the world, and they're like, yo, mate, if this just happens to not be your night, know that it's not your night. Bow out, retire, live to fight another day. And I'm glad that I did what I did, because Frank was whooping my ass, and I got a big, hematoma on the back of my head. I could feel it touching the back of my ear, and God bless the corner people, but they didn't know what the fuck they doing. There was they were doing no inswell, nothing on my head. I watched the film. Like, they were worried about a cut here that had nothing to do with my vision or breathing. Leave that shit alone. Wipe it, put some, Vaseline in it, focus on the hematoma so it doesn't get bigger. And they didn't do any of that. And so I'm a little bit disappointed in that. And I just might start bringing, I don't give a shit if I have to pay Stitch out of my own pocket. I'm going to start bringing top level people with, when I go. Now, granted, most of my fights have ended under 3 minutes. I knock most people out. But there's all these times you're going to run into the Frank Tates. You're going to run into the studs, and you got to be prepared for the worst, because it is bare knuckle, So, and I was very blessed. Did a CT scan after the fight. No fractures, no nothing. It was all contusions and just superficial wounds. So very blessed there. But yeah, my coach was a little upset. And it's not a slight on BKfc. Their cut people were probably overwhelmed or something. Who knows? But you got to have more experience. Like, you see a hematoma, coming up, get that inswell on it. There's certain things, man, bro. Obviously, I'm the most experienced heavyweight, or the most experienced American bare knuckle fighter in America, period. And even boxing fans know that. You get a hematoma, you get the inswell on it. Get another one, get two of them on it. Pressure, get it down. and at least control it. And unfortunately, that didn't happen, and that shit was swelling really bad. So that was a real issue that I had. They didn't let me fly, obviously, and the second day I was allowed to fly, but I left. There was no black eye. There's nothing. I can show you guys pictures. I'll send them to you. Looked perfectly good besides this. And I got off that plane when I got in Detroit, and my girl, like I literally looked like I was like Will Smith from that one movie where he ate some bad shellfish and his face blew up. Like
Hitch.
Hitch. There you go.
Yeah.
Bro, I couldn't see out of my eyes. It was horrible.
Wow.
It was a fucking nightmare.
The pressure from being up in the air got you.
Yeah.
So you kind of answered our next question. I was gonna ask you, like, was there any damage that was gonna keep you out for an extended period of time?
No.
How is your eye? Is your eye okay?
Oh, eyes are fine. Yeah, you would think it was just a cut, but it's funny. I did a DEXA scan before this fight, and my bone density is 4.1. The average bone density is 0.9 to 1.1. So I have damn near 4 times the bone density as normal people, and that's probably because of combat sports, of repetitive blows. Your body naturally prepares itself, and I didn't even have a fracture. I mean, you saw the shots that I took, and you would think I'd have broken jaw, I'd have a broken orbital, something. Not even a fracture, not even a hairline, nothing. So very blessed with that. So it's a good thing I got a hard head, right? So just a bunch of superficial stuff. So it's a matter of healing with that. Now I don't know what Alabama's doing. Now, if you win, even if you win a fight, you get suspended for 30 days. That's just the way that works. If you get KO'd, I think it's like 90 days, but I think they have me suspended until like August something, which would be a little bit longer than the 90 days. So who knows? My attorney's going to end up calling them because I wasn't knocked out. It was you could hear it in the fight. It was a verbal retirement from the red corner. So it wasn't knocked out. Yeah, I was concussed. Fuck yeah, I was concussed. So give me the 90 day. That's fine. But anything over that, again, it's Alabama. Just God bless them. But you can tell they didn't know what the fuck they're doing. Everything they did, they had no experience in it. So they would throw a plethora of things at you. And I had a team, I'm very blessed. I got a team of doctors that threw shit back at them and said, you guys are ignorant. Like, what are you guys doing? They're like, oh, never mind. It's good. It's good. So, but most fighters don't have the blessing that I have. I mean, I've got these guys over years, of training. If I didn't have these guys, I would have been Frank Tate. Now, see, a lot of people aren't going to talk about this, but poor Frank Tate had to do a fucking stress test the morning of the fight because he had an irregular EKG. Now, let me break it down, okay? Most athletes are going to have an irregular EKG because they have an enlarged heart, a muscular heart, because they're an athlete. Anyone worth their 2 cents is going to know that. Now, because he didn't have the team behind him that I did, they forced him to fucking do a stress test the morning of the fight. That could wear on you because you're getting on the treadmill, you're getting your heart anaerobically up, and then you're going to lay down immediately so you can do an echocardiogram. It's uncomfortable. It's pain in the ass. So, hats off to Frank. Like, a lot of people don't know that he went through that morning. I was trying to talk to him a little bit, after weigh-ins to tell him how that was going to go and what he should do to make sure that he was the best Frank Tate that night, and that's a lot of stress, man. It's a lot of stress for a fighter. So for him to come out and perform like he did, it was a beautiful thing. So, hats off to him, and, he was the better man that night.
So, I mean, it was the first event in Alabama, a bare knuckle event in Alabama history, right? Yep. So hopefully over time, all that starts to, work out for them, and they get some better people and all that. I really do think that the sport is going to start blowing up, and especially since COVID's starting to settle down, it'll really start spreading like wildfire. So after the fight, you walk out, and the fans were great there. They got pretty loud. Awesome. After that, after the Calamus O'Bannon fight, like they went buck wild after that fight. And I mean, from there on out, they were going crazy. And I heard they treated you pretty well. And even someone who some people might think was an unlikely candidate, Chris Sarro, came up to you afterwards and was really professional and showed some sportsmanship after the fight towards you, right?
Yeah. So after the fight, it was like going through a wave of Tate fans, and all they did was show me love. They were just like, Jesus. Most were like, damn, white boy, I can't believe you kept getting up, like, and give me fist bumps and stuff. So it was all love, you know. And Frank Tate showed me love. And then as I was walking the medical tent, or the medical area, you know, Sorrow came, you know, I see him kind of jogging up. In my mind, I'm thinking, oh shit, here it goes. He's gonna run his mouth, and I can't say shit. You know, I'm at the lowest point. And my coach, I could feel. Now Coleman wasn't here. If Coleman was here, maybe it would have went completely different because Coleman's super protective. So, you know, with his Hammer House guys. And my coach started to get on my other side, and I just put my hand on his hip, just say, you know, whatever. Whatever's gonna happen, let it happen, you know. Because at that point I'm at the lowest point, and if I'm gonna get mouthed at, you know, I deserve it. You know, it is what it is. And, you know, Chris is like, hey, you know, he come walk up, and I said something first. I was like, boy, that boy can hit. He's like, you good? He goes, I saw it, man. He's like, Jesus, look at you. He's like, you just kept getting up. And just a little quick rapport back and forth. He's like, all right, man, well, I'll check on you again, because I had to go keep walking. I was doing this as I was walking. And it was really cool. Like, I didn't expect that. And I'll be honest with you guys. So Chris and I have been talking for the last 2 weeks, on and off. And it looks like, you know, Lord willing, everything falls in place. But I'm going to bring him to camp down with me for his next fight with us down here at Hammer House and Victorious. And we're going to get him. I just think, man, I've been in the ring with Chris. I know what he went through for that last fight. You know, the last fight he was beating the tar out of Kakar, and then got caught. Why did he get caught? Because he was over anxious, and he's got those looping punches. Doesn't move his head quite well. So things that are all fixable, you know. And Chris had a really bad weight cut. So, and a lot of people don't know that. So, and I know how that goes, because I cut from 280 to 206 when I was in Bellator. And let me tell you, for everything from shitting and puking myself the night before weigh-ins, I got it all because I had heat exhaustion because I was in the damn sauna too much. And you know, I'm not gonna speak on what Chris went through, but I can just tell you his was worse than what I went through. And so I was in the cage or in the ring with Chris. I know he hits hard, and if that dude just hits down the fucking middle, if he could just learn how he does it on pads, does it on the bag, you know, hits hard. But when he gets in a fight, he gets loopy. You know, and I think that's off of the excitement and lack of actual practical application in the ring, in the gym. So we want to bring him down here. My whole team's all for it, you know, and Mark, everybody, we're all behind it, and bring him down here for, you know, a full camp, and I'll corner him for his fight. You know, it'd be my honor. And I think the real Chris Sauce hasn't even shown himself yet. That's just the reality. That's scary. It's scary. So 205 pound, you know, the cruiserweight division, they need to watch out, because I think they're sleeping on him a little bit. And if he gets in the right, in my opinion, it's not about me. It's just about getting him in the right environment with the right training partners, you know, proper sparring. I think that dude's going to be a world champion, in my opinion.
I can tell you that me and Mike, we saw him the night of the day of the weigh-ins, and
the next day.
And yeah, I could agree with you. We didn't talk to him too much, because you could just see it on his face that he was just not having the best of times getting that weight to where it needed to be. He was really awesome the next day. After he made weight and put 25 pounds back on, like, you know, he sat down with us and we had a good conversation. But like you said, that he looked like he was feeling it pretty hard on Thursday.
Yeah, and as you guys know, being athletes, you know, that shit doesn't come back in 24 hours. You know, just because you can put that weight back on, it's still not saturated into the muscle tissue and the blood, and it takes time. And a lot of people don't get that. So Chris went in that fight, and I'm pretty sure that he knew, you know, he had a limited amount of rounds to get it over, and I think that's why he probably rushed it. And that was the biggest mistake, is that he rushed it, because he was, I like Kakar, great guy. But he was getting his ass beat. Let's just be honest. Sorrow was in that ass, but he pushed it too quick, left himself open. And when that happens, you know, that's when you push things and rush things, that's when you get caught. So it happened. So, but I just think that I think he can have a whole complete different approach if he's got the proper nutrition. That's one. You know, I'm very blessed. I got a sweet team up here. I got a nutrition team, strength conditioning team. I got a team of doctors, 3 separate doctors. You know, I've got my boxing coach. I've got Coleman. Like, I got a solid fucking crew, you know, so I have no excuses in my fights ever. You know, I just have a very solid crew. And a lot of guys don't have that. You'd be very surprised how many fighters are, you know, like Bobo, maybe spar once or twice before their fights, you know, silly stuff like that, where you're like, you cannot be a professional and only spar once or twice, you know.
Right. And what Bobo told us, Bobo did his whole, like, he's been training over FaceTime
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Which
the coach. Yep.
That's just crazy. I mean, he won. God bless him. He
Mhm.
had a nice war with Zach Calmus, but
Right.
that just I don't know, man. Like your head trainer is over a webcam. That just seems crazy to me.
But it's pretty wild. I mean, let's be honest. And Bobo would tell you the same thing. You know, that shit is going to work for a Zach Calmus. You know, no disrespect to him. Like, you know, he's a warrior, came out and did what he had to do. But there's a different level, you know. So Zach Calmus is supposed to fight Frank Tate. Thank God. I mean, God works in crazy ways. I could take what he did. I don't think Zach Calmus would have fared well if Tate hit him the way he hit me. You know, I'm not being pompous. I'm just telling you, I got a brick for a head. So, you know, and what he did in his mentality, what he did with Bobo, you know, Bobo is a different puncher than Frank Tate, you know, and I think Tate's a much more powerful puncher. I think Tate would hurt him. So, you know, things happen for a reason, I believe. So, you know, and, you know, Bobo probably wouldn't be able to do that against a Sam Shoemaker, a Joey Beltran, a Josh Burns, a Frank Tate. You know, he wouldn't be able to have a guy that's, you know, doing it over the radio, over the phone, whatever you call it. I think you'd have to actually have somebody in person that can get in your face and really talk to you. You know, you don't have to put headphones on to listen to them talk to you. So that's my opinion, though. You know,
I think a lot of people are of that opinion. I just can't understand how that would be like a very effective way to be a professional fighter. But, you know, like you said, he did get a win, and we'll see where he goes from there. Now, realistically, if the 90-day suspension is up in August, you want to fight right away, right?
Yeah, I wanted to make the card in Biloxi, but due to Alabama, now I've got my attorneys. They're going to be, trust me, we're going to slap Alabama pretty hard. So, and I'm pretty sure we won't have that full, because it's beyond 90 days. If you do the math on it, it's actually like 3 weeks longer than 90 days. So we're going to slap them pretty quick, and that's happening actually tomorrow. So hopefully I can fight in August. If I can, I'd like to fight in Biloxi, but all signs have pointed to September. You know, Nate Shook's been pretty clear on the fact. He's like, listen, you're going to fight in September. We got to fight for you. You're fighting in September. Just get ready for September. So it looks like I'll probably be back in the ring in September.
You say they have a fight for you. That means they have somebody in mind.
I can't just, you guys know how it goes. I can't disclose what you're talking about, but I can tell you right now, it's one of three guys, and certain things got to play out, and we got to see how things fall, but it's one of three guys. So, and, you know, as you guys know, I'm 7-3, so I'm still in title contention. I just need to win. And, you know, I need the proper fight. I need the right guy. I can't fight, you know, some bum or some guy that's, you know, it's coming in there just off the street type guys, you know, or their first fight, you know, bare knuckle. I need to fight an established fighter that's got a good record, that's got a decent ranking. And I need to, you know, be able to do work and pull the normal Josh Burns and get the W and put myself back up there.
I want to address this. Max Holloway won the Cater fight after training exclusively on Zoom. Max Holloway is no Bobo. Like, no offense to Bobo Bennett, but Max Holloway is one of the greatest fighters to ever do it in mixed martial arts. I would imagine that Max can pull that off, you know.
Well, you got to think Max also before that camp had, you know, world-class camps before then.
Right.
And Bobo does not have world-class camps, and he'll be the first one to tell you. Yeah. I love Bobo. He's my good buddy. And he was pulling shit where he would train himself and then go fight, and then maybe drive downtown, you know, an hour to go spar once or twice in a 8-week period to before a fight. That's what happened with, you know, Sam Shoemaker and stuff. So no, Max Holloway, you're comparing apples to oranges. So yes, can it be effective? Sure, for certain, like myself. I pretty much know what the fuck I'm doing when I go in there. I don't need to be told what to do unless I'm not doing something. So yeah, maybe someone on Zoom would work, but you got to take the level of the talent of the individual you're dealing with and their experience and how that would be applicable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of other aspects for Max Holloway too, you know, a nutritionist, you know what I'm saying? Like he has everything in the palm of his hands. The guy's been around for a little while, and he's a big star. So like every aspect of his life is top of the line.
It's different than Bobo Bennett. Like,
absolutely.
That's what I was saying with like my camp. Everything that I have a nutritional. I got a strength and condition. They're all different people. Strength and conditioner. I got 3 separate doctors. I've got fucking 2 different boxing coaches. I've got grappling coaches that wall work with me. So I've got a whole team. I got a set of guys, almost like, what was that, 7 people? 7 different people that I go to that I, at a drop of a dime, will do anything for me during camp. So
Right.
so it's a blessing. So it's a different level. So then you got these other guys that are working a full-time job, 40, 50 hours a week, and then they go try to get to the gym after work, and then they try to get their cardio in before they go to work, and they don't have that. They got one guy, they got a coach. That's it. So it's night and day difference when we talk about guys that do it for a living and other guys that are trying to get to that point, or guys that are just trying to provide for their families and get some extra income.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be down in Miami for BKfc 18? You can make it down there.
It depends. What was the date for that? Because I don't think they gave an exact date yet. Have they?
Yeah, they did. They on their I think it's Instagram page, they put out June 26th.
26.
No, I will not be down there because I will actually be in Hawaii having a nice little vacation.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, that sounds pretty good, my friend.
Yeah.
So I've been grinding since we signed with BKfc. We've been grinding nonstop because of the whole Sam Shoemaker debacle, and literally nonstop for over almost 2 years now, each time. And we just figured, while my girl's just like, look, we need a break. Let's take a break. So gonna go take a week off. I'll still probably do cardio because I'll be closer to being in camp. But besides that, it'll be nice just to get out of the grind for a minute.
Now, before we let you go, we have something to do with you. But you said you had 3 opponents in mind. We're not allowed to know names, but I'm gonna guess that 2 out of the 3 of them are from the UK. Is that accurate, or at least one of them?
No, 2 of them are actually fighting for the heavyweight championship.
Yeah, I was going to say Beltran, Shoemaker, or Kleckler. Maybe.
Oh, I was thinking because
I don't know, but that was a good. The guy on top string, he's got it. He's good.
Well,
he's real good.
No, I didn't. Well, I didn't assume. Okay, that's good for you then. I didn't know they were going to throw you right back into the title picture. That's sweet. But I know Mickey Terrell's coming over. I know Godbeer's out there. And I know Adams. I know AJ Adams is out there too.
So AJ's got to get past Mick. I don't think that happens, And AJ's a good guy, but I don't think he realizes what the fuck he's going up against. But
see, that's why my like hint there. What I was going towards Mickey Terrell actually. That's where I was.
Well, but Mick will not fight me unless it's for a world title. I know them, they know me, and there's no point for us to fight again unless it's for a title. Neither one of us need to risk it. That's their words, and I agree with them. So, and Dave Feldman, the UK guys, he considers it the B League. So they got to come over here and get a couple wins. Yeah, BKfc, you got to have wins before you can fight for a title. You can't come over here to fight once and then fight for a title, or fight for a title right off the rip. The things that Godbeer was thinking was going to happen, it's just not going to happen. So I don't think it's going to be Mick Terrell. I honestly. If I were to pick someone, I would hope it would be Sam Shoemaker, because I think Joey Beltran's going to beat him, and I would love to fight Sam Shoemaker. That's almost a personal thing, because Eric Prindle's a brother of mine, and the fact that you live off that fucking knockout, the one knockout you've had, I don't have anything against Sam. I call him country, but man. Eric Prindle's my brother, and you're living off a fucking knockout of a guy that was at the end of his career that had 5. He was knocked out 5 of his last 7 fights. Like, it's not that big of a impressive thing, and to act the way he did after the fight, and and he's always posting that shit. Just, it's annoying. So yeah, I would just love to make a highlight reel out of his ass, and I would enjoy that.
All right. Well, so before we let you go, you are the Hammer. Mike and I were talking. We're going to do a little thing called Hammer and Nail with the Hammer. All right. We're going to give you two people, and you got to tell us who's the Hammer, who's the Nail. Yeah. And I'll start it off. BKfc 18, Tyler Goodjohn, Luis Palomino. Who's the Hammer? Who's the Nail?
Oh, God. Do I have to do it quick, or do I get a breakdown? How do you want to do that?
You can give us whatever you want to do. Hey, whatever. Hey.
Let me give you a breakdown, okay? So Tyler Goodjohn, Everybody in America just listen. Everybody here is a bunch of fucking babies. They're in their infancy. Nobody knows bare knuckle. Y'all, 3 years is the most. 4 years is the most experience anyone has here. And I've been doing this now 6.5, going on 7 years. I'm gonna tell you right now, I've seen Tyler Goodjohn at his best. If Tyler Goodjohn's at his best, now remember, Palomino's no bigger than Tyler. They're the same damn size. And Palomino hits him, he could be in trouble. Okay, I've seen Tyler get knocked down before, but I also see Tyler get up. So people don't. I think they're sleeping on how good Tyler really is. The fight that he had with Crazy Horse was not a true representation. People don't know that boy had COVID.
Right.
Literally 3 weeks out from his fight, got cleared a week out from the fight, so he was able to fight. I'm telling you right now, I had COVID, and I'm gonna tell you, I was nowhere near wanting to fight nobody, and I was in camp when I got it. It took me a damn month to feel. Now, of course, I'm a fat boy, but it still took me a month to feel where I was comfortable, doing rounds on pads and sparring. So it could go two ways. If everyone's like, oh, Luis Palomino is gonna, snatch him up and tie him up and put him in the clinch, and Tyler Goodjohn doesn't, like, first of all, y'all that stupid? Like, Tyler Goodjohn's a slick motherfucker. You really think he's just gonna stand there and let that dude grab him? No, he's a dirty fighter too. I've seen him be dirty. So, of course, the favorite's going to be the champ, but I think a lot of people sleeping on Tyler. So that one right there, if it goes a distance, Tyler Goodjohn gets the decision. If it's a knockout, it's going to be Palomino.
There you go. Nice. I'll also, and anybody that follows Tyler on his social medias, he looks like he's putting on some muscle. He looks like he's putting on some muscle. He's strengthening up a little bit for this fight. Yeah. He's taking it very serious. Oh, yeah. And like you said, he's going to come in healthy this time. So I'm very excited about this fight. Mike, what do you got?
All right. Jean-Claude Van Damme and Jason Statham.
I don't know if Jason Statham did any actual combat in sports in his life. I don't know that. But I do know when I was like 12, Jean-Claude Van Damme came in the Jet Center in California when I was being trained by Benny the Jet. And you had Don Wilson, who also a movie star, but Don is an actual kickboxing world champion and a couple other accolades. And they were talking, and he's like, let's do some rounds. And I just remember as a kid, and it'll stick with me forever, that Jean-Claude Van Damme, he was working out. It wasn't like he wasn't there to work out. He was working out. He absolutely refused to get in the ring and spar with Don Wilson. And for the rest of my life, I just basically, I was like, he's a bitch. So at the end of the day, Jean-Claude Van Damme's a fucking nail, and Statham, I don't know if he's done any combat, but he'd be the hammer.
Nice.
I think Statham, being a British dude, he's probably thrown down a little bit in his lifetime. Yeah. Next up, who is the hammer? Who is the nail? Sam Shoemaker, Joey Beltran.
Oh, man. The quick answer, Shoemaker's the nail, Joey's the fucking hammer. But, it's an intriguing fight because Sam has been busting his ass cardio-wise, and I think it's funny. I think now, so you got to understand this, Joey's a fucking OG. So Joey's a mind player. Joey likes playing mind games all the time. So Joey was putting all these pictures up of him dropping weight, looking thin, looking like he's losing like 220. He was in Mississippi looking really thin. And, I pay attention to this shit, and I'm watching him. He looks like he's a little thicker now. It looks like he put a little weight on. And I think he got Sam Shoemaker. Shoemaker, a small dude anyways. Everyone's like, oh, Sam, the hillbilly. Man, that motherfucker is 6'3" and a fucking noodle. I stood next to him and like, good God, like you a skinny boy. Like I'm sure maybe you hit hard, but bro, you a skinny dude. Like I'll put my fist through your fucking body, like your chest cavity. Like if I'm this wide, he's like this wide. And you turn narrow, you turn sideways, like depth, like he's like this, where I'm like this, and I'm just like, you ain't a big heavyweight, bro. So he's fighting at what, 225, 230? So I bet you Joey comes in a little heavier, maybe 250, and Sam's out there busting his ass trying to stay cardio so he can stay with Joey. The people don't realize Joey Beltran can come at 260 and he's gonna have that same cardio. He's gonna have that same crazy ass cardio, whether he's 260 or 220. And I think Joey's gonna come in heavier. He's gonna trip him out, and Sam's gonna think, oh, I got this because he looks a little heavy. And I think Joey's going to enforce his will. He's going to drown him, and he's going to drown him faster than Sam realizes, because you can have cardio, but we all know fight cardio is different. And boxing cardio is different than grappling cardio. And grappling cardio, is different than MMA. So Joey's going to make it like an MMA fight, which I'm telling you, Sam ain't ready for. I'm telling you. And he's going to throw him around, and that gas tank's going to go whoop. And when it does, he's going to be sitting there getting all beat red like he usually does with that big old hairy ass beard, and he's going to be beat ass red, and Joey Beltran's going to take liberties on him. That's my opinion, and I guess Sam could always get lucky, but I just really don't think he hits. I mean, if he hit as hard as he thinks he does, why do you only have one knockout, one impressive highlight knockout in your whole career, and all the other ones were, decisions or split decisions, I should say. And then obviously Bobo, who just stood in front of you. Bobo did the same thing I did with Tate, just stood in front of you. So I don't really count that fight. So let's just be honest. I really think that Joey Beltran by far has the experience. He's got the experience. He's got the knowledge. He's been in these huge fights before. I just think he's too much. I think he's already been playing head games. I think Sam sucked into it because you see Sam dropping a lot of weight, getting thin, doing all the promos, and he looks really thinned out. I'm like, I stood next to that dude when he fought Bobo, and I think he was like 235, 240 at that time, and I thought he was small. And that's not, it's not disrespect, it's just reality. Like, it's facts. I'm standing next to him going like, dude, you're a little dude. Like, you're that skinny little dude that I'd have a problem with if you tried to stay away from me, And but that's not how Sam fights. Sam likes to come forward and try to be an enforcer. You're going to meet an enforcer. He's going to meet an enforcer when he fights Joey. And I just think Joey's just going to beat that ass.
He's going to meet the hammer, and he will beat him. All right.
I agree.
Mike's got an interesting one here for you.
The hillbilly hammer meets the hammer. All right. So Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali.
Okay, so with this, I'm a huge boxing fan.
Prime.
Historian.
Both prime.
Both prime. Now let's just keep it real simple and easy for everybody. Okay, now Mike Tyson himself, because he's such a humble guy, was like, he was with Ali and said, Ali beats me all day, Ali the champion. But the reality is, what was Mike Tyson? Mike Tyson was an enhanced version of Joe Louis. Joe
Frazier.
Joe Frazier. Thank you. Okay. Who the fuck? Now, styles make fights. Who beat the dog shit out of Ali? Right?
Joe Frazier.
Who busted? Thank you. So Mike Tyson is an advanced elite version of Frazier, a much quicker, much stronger, much faster version. Guess what? Mike Tyson knocks Ali out. That's a fact. Now, people think I'm crazy, but if you're a historian and you go back and even Mike Tyson would say I'm wrong, but it's because Mike's just being humble and he's a good dude. But at the end of the day, you take him in their primes, Ali could only run so much. I mean, Foreman fucked him up. Like, people hit him and they broke things on him. Tyson, man, he way faster than Frazier, and his combos came off a lot more crisp. No way. I don't think Ali makes that around round 8 or round 9. I think he's taken out.
I agree with you. That's
Tyson's a hammer.
I thought the same thing.
Plus, his mama named him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay. All right, back to reality. Joe Riggs and Hector Lombard. Who's the hammer? Who's the nail?
Well, this is a real interesting fight because Joey and I fought on a couple cards over in the UK, and Joey's just a monster. He's just straight up. He's a monster. Now, when he was in the UK, he fought a little different than he did here in the States because I saw him when he came over to BKfc. But I don't think Hector, I don't know if Hector believes in what he does anymore, or if he does, he just takes his time. But I think if Hector takes his time to get going, I think Joe Riggs is going to fuck him up. But if Joe Riggs takes his time and lets Hector get comfortable, Joey could be in for a war. No matter what, it's going to be a battle because I think they're both battle tested. But I've also, I've seen where Hector gets in trouble and he's not used to being in trouble. So when he does, he doesn't respond well. And Joe Riggs is a great finisher, fucking great finisher. And he's tough as nails. I don't care what anybody says. That boy is a born bred fighter. So I'm actually going to pull for Joe. I think Joe is the hammer, and I think Hector becomes the nail.
All right.
There we go. That was interesting. I was wondering where you were going to go with it because we all have, like you said, have seen Joe Riggs throughout his career, and he is a monster. But he hasn't fought in 2 years.
Yeah.
And I when they made the match, I was curious about how that match got made, seeing how his last fight was a draw and it was 2 years ago. But you have a guy like Lorenzo Hunt who's been fighting every other event. Everything the company asked him to do, but I'm assuming that Lorenzo will get the winner of this, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, this is what is this? The
195. Yeah, 195.
195. Yeah. So yeah, and you got to think Hector Lombard hasn't been fucking active either. You think about thinking his fights, he's not been active, and he's not fought anybody. He's fought bums, like guys that didn't fight him, so he really wasn't in fights. So they've both been fairly inactive. That's if you want to be fair. So I don't think the company is going to throw Hector Lombard to a Lorenzo Hunt. I just don't think that's going to happen right off the riff. I think they're going to have these two fight because Riggs, no matter what, whether he's fought 2 years, 3 years ago, or just yesterday, you're going to get the same Joe Riggs. He's going to come in and grind. Hector is a kind of a hit and miss. Is Hector going to be the Hector of old and be confident, come in and swing and try to hurt people? Or is he going to do what he did the last couple of times where he sits out there and paces and, takes his time trying to, throw shots and hope that people fear him? He works off a lot of fear. So a guy like Joe Riggs isn't going to fear him. He don't give a shit. He's going to walk through it. So with that being said, it makes a better fight, but I also think that puts Joe in the driver's seat.
I love it.
So yeah, they are. Hector is 43 and Joe Riggs is 38. So I don't know. Who knows what could happen with that? I see in the comments Joe Ivy said that, but Hector fought in September 2020. So that's the last time he fought Kendall Grove. So
was that really? Let's be honest. Was that really a fight? Let's be honest. Kendall showed up for a paycheck.
Yep.
Let's call a spade now, guys. He showed up for a paycheck. Lombard didn't fight. There wasn't a fight. So, and that was a year ago. By the time they're going to match, close to a year.
Yeah, pretty close to a year.
So you got a guy that's off for 2 years, guys off for a year.
Yep.
And so you just got to look at it and think. And Joey's coming off a draw, so he had a real fight. You watch him; he had a real fight. Somebody wasn't afraid of his name, wasn't afraid who he was. He got in there and won to bang. So it was a good fight. So I really think that Hector Lombard, and I've seen some of his training videos and stuff. Boy, it ain't MMA, bro. This ain't MMA, and you can't be as stiff as he is, and upright and stiff, and that judo fucking shit that he does. You can't do that. And I think Joe Riggs has definitely applied himself to the sport and has adapted to the bare knuckle world. And I think Joe is a better, well-rounded fighter than Hector. Hector obviously has higher accolades, being the Bellator champion, doing everything he's done. But this is not MMA. This is bare knuckle. What's going to happen the first time that boy get punched in the face? The guy he's like Tyson, the guy that scares everyone and never gets hit. What happens when he first gets punched? It's a crapshoot. I don't think he folds. I think he's got a champion mentality, but I still think that he's going to be in retreat mode. Like, oh shit, what is this? And I think Joe Riggs pulls it out.
Great breakdown.
Nice.
Great breakdown. Mike's going back into the non-reality world because you walked out to a certain song.
Right.
Here
our
we
next
go.
question is NSYNC and Backstreet Boys.
Oh, Jesus. Fuck, I don't fucking know.
You walked out to Justin Timberlake, so we figured we'd throw that right in there.
Which one is Justin Timberlake on?
He's in NSYNC.
NSYNC. Okay, well, let's go with NSYNC then.
They're the hammer. Backstreet Boys are the nail. All right. All right. Next up, hammer or nail, Yuli Diaz, Thiago Alves. I'd love to hear your comments on this.
This is a very tough one for me because Yuli Diaz, obviously with a super impressive win for his debut. I'm pretty sure he hasn't fought since then. And Thiago Alves, he fought Julian Lane on, and Julian had 2-3 day notice, and Julian put him in a fucking war. So, and Julian's my boy. So, and I know what Julian's capable of. And that fight, Julian came a little heavy, got to be a little heavy, and he had nothing to lose. When Julian enters a fight with nothing to lose, you get the best Julian, to be quite honest with you. And he took Thiago the entire distance and gave him a war. And to be honest with you, I think Julian won. That's my opinion. I think he did more damage. So now, to backtrack and talk about Yuli. Yuli he's an unknown, and he looks like a monster. He's got a great story of a horrible background of how he's risen above it all to become to where he is, which is really great. But is Yuli, the question will be, is Yuli going to be a one-hit wonder? Is he that one-hit wonder? He had a bum that he knocked out. Like, the guy literally had his hands at his thighs, and Yuli hit him with his hands at his thighs. Of course, you get a free shot of somebody at that weight class. Come on now, as fast as they are.
It was his debut.
Yeah. So let's be real. So that guy's not proven to be some tough guy. So Yuli's got a great win over that, but it wasn't a fight. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Thiago's gonna come to fight. And as much as I like Yuli, he's so unproven. Like you go even his entire fight career, like there's nothing in there that shows you that he's a beast. Thiago, I can name 10 occasions where he proved himself to be a monster. And the Julian Lane fight is another one. Even though I think Julian should have got the nod, I think Thiago probably beats Yuli. Unless Yuli's got this fucking unbelievable power and just puts Thiago out. I think Thiago's gonna take it to him. But
it's funny that like you're dead on with this with Yuli Diaz, and nothing against him. I can't personally say that I've watched many of these fights, but he has a 12-1 pro boxing career. But if you look at the guys he fought,
right.
his first opponent was 2-32. His second opponent was 0-10. Third, 4-11, 0-2, 1-4, 3-4, 0-4, 3-4, 1-0. He fought a guy that had 38 wins, 38-12. He knocked him out. But then the next guy was 8-12, 3-7. That's a weird record.
Well, let's if you pay attention to boxing, let's be honest. If you pay attention to boxing,
yeah, they're padding your record at the beginning.
Yeah, boxing that's why when you manage in boxing, if you pick up a fighter, you're investing. You're going to invest about 150 to 200,000 into your fighter if you believe in them, because you're going to be buying fights. Like you go to these promotions, you pay either 1,500 to 5,000 for you got to fight. You're not getting a purse. You're paying so you can be on the card, and you pay and pick your opponent, and you build, and then you're supposed to slowly, progressively get tougher opponents, and then it slowly turns into paydays. And then once you get 15 to 20-0 around that mark, that's when you get the nod. You get the nod from ESPN, HBO, something on those lines. And now it's time to step up. And so with that boxing record, it's very, very normal. It's a hand-fed record. And again, like I said previously, he has nothing that proves that he is, battle tested. Nothing at all. The 38-12 guy, I don't know the circumstances surrounding it. There could be circumstances surrounding it. A guy's 38-12, that's a definite journeyman who might be showing up for a payday, So I think it looks good on his record. So we don't know. So I just say that he's not battle tested. And when he's not battle tested, I would never put money on a guy that's not battle tested, period. And he's never even been hit. Now, that's my biggest thing. The biggest thing I've always said in every bare knuckle fight in the world, if you've not been hit in bare knuckle, you're not a bare knuckle fighter. And that's my opinion. Yuli falls in that same category. You're not a bare knuckle fighter yet, homie. I like you. You're a great dude. You got great personality. You're a good heart, but you're not a bare knuckle fighter, And just like I said, when I fought Frank Tate, I've been hit before. And, I went through 3 rounds of just getting my ass kicked. Let's just be honest. Just taking fucking shots to the dome proves that I'm a bare knuckle fighter. I know what it feels like. I can endure and keep trying to get up until, it's not smart to get up. So, and continue. So with Yuli, I don't think he's battle tested. He's unknown. And with that being said, Thiago Alves has been, he got a lot, Julian gave him everything but the kitchen sink, and he kept fighting. So I'm going to have to pull for Thiago in this one.
Thiago's the hammer.
Yep.
There it is. All right, we got a couple more, and they're not really very serious, so we can cruise through these, but I think Mike has a really good one for you here.
All right, Dana White and David Feldman.
All right, so since everyone calls me fucking Dana White, that drives me nuts.
Really?
Oh, God. Look at, dude, my knockout with Chris Sarro, my loss with Tate, everyone's like, hey, is that Dana White? God damn, Dana White's in there. So,
I've never even seen that, I swear.
Oh, bro.
I have never seen that.
It's like talking about a car that you want. Now you're not going to not see it. It's going to be everywhere. So,
wow.
But let's be honest. Okay, so Dave was actually a professional boxer where Dana was going to be, I think he was going to do pro MMA for a while there. So if it's in the boxing arena, Dave Feldman all day. If it gets into the MMA world, it's going to be Dana White because he's been doing it for, 20 plus years. So boxing, David's the hammer. If it's MMA, I think Dana.
And Dana is like TRT Dana now.
Oh, yeah.
He's a fucking monster now. I don't know what the hell. He's bigger and bigger every time you see him. It's freaking
yeah, for sure. Well, and in that case, it might fall in the favor of David because
just cardio.
Cardio. Yeah, cardio is a horrible thing for guys. I always get blamed to be a big steroid guy because I'm bigger, I'm thicker. But my God, don't you think if I had steroids in me that I would not have the fucking gut that I have? Don't you think I'd have a little more cosmetic appeal on some level? I'd do something that would make this shit go away. Come on. So I just look like I look like a Tank Abbott almost, except it's not flopping over. So since it's not flopping over, I'm okay.
You would look like Dana White if you were on steroids.
You know what? You can just fuck off.
Hey, there's a picture of fucking Dana White next to Usman, and he fucking looks huge next to Usman. Usman looks tiny. I was like, what the hell?
Yep.
All right. I got my last one for you is Trump. Speaking of cardio animals, Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. Who you got?
Let me just, I'm not going political, okay, but I'm former military, former police officer. Let me just tell you, Donald Trump going to swipe the fucking ground with that old turd as he trips and falls down the fucking his own damn shoelaces. All right. So but it's not even a contest. Donald Trump is the hammer. Joe Biden is the broken ass nail.
All right. I think 99.9% of people would go the same way. And the last one, Mike, what do you got?
Avengers and Justice League. Not sure if you follow this stuff, but
bro, I'm a big fucking nerd, Doug. I'm a big nerd. So,
right.
so man, I could do a huge breakdown on this as well. But we'll pull out the big factors. So the big factors: Justice League have Superman, okay, and so the Avengers basically Hulk, or I would say Hulk or Thor would probably be, if we're talking about the original Avengers. So God, just. Man, but you know what? Superman lost to Doomsday, so that's a tough one. But
and also, I don't know if the Superman versus Batman movie corresponded with the comics much, but Batman outsmarted Superman to the point where the kryptonite came into play, and Batman could have killed his ass in that movie.
Why?
And Tony Stark is smarter, than Bruce Banner. Than Bruce Wayne. So they got Tony Stark too.
Right. So they have Tony Stark, but at the same time, you have to think. So the biggest threat would be Superman. Secondary would be Wonder Woman. People they sleep on Wonder Woman. If you actually know the comics, Wonder Woman is technically really close to Superman, if not equal, and people don't realize that. So, even with Cyborg, I think Iron Man smokes him. Thor. You got Aquaman, but I think Aquaman gets smoked by either Thor or the Hulk. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Avengers. I'd have to say the Avengers over Justice League, even though Justice League's got Superman. I just think there's too many intangibles for the Avengers. So intelligence, I think that Tony Stark's smarter than Bruce Wayne. So, and with that being said, that's a big deal because that's a huge strength for Justice League was with Bruce Wayne being so smart. But Tony Stark let's be honest, Tony Stark's that's a fucking prodigy. So you got to remember that when the Hulk is not the Hulk, he is Bruce Banner, and Bruce Banner is smarter than Tony Stark. So very true. And if we take Ragnarok into it, he learned how to fuse himself to where he was both. He's 2 in 1. So he can be smart and strong. So that's scary.
Why is Superman such a fucking idiot? Like, why is he such an idiot? How do you allow a human in a fucking suit to outsmart you with some kryptonite? Why don't you just throw a meteor from outer space and just crush the entire planet and kill everybody? I don't even understand this shit. It doesn't make sense to me.
The problem is the Superman has morals and ethics, and that's where he's limited. He won't hurt people. Where the Avengers will kill people, and they don't have a problem killing. Where Superman won't kill.
It's like I just can't understand. How do you let that happen, man?
All right, dude. That was Hammer and Nail with the Hammer. Josh Burns. Thank you for breaking down those fights so thoroughly. That was awesome. We're all looking forward to that event. But we're also looking forward to you getting back in there as soon as possible. And we appreciate you coming through and talking about your return. What else you got before we let you go, man? Any shout outs, anything you want to do? We'll throw your sponsors back at the bottom and well, let you go.
I gave you our sponsors, but big shout out to Tiger Life, Turp House Farms, Latham, Law Attorneys, and Fire Savvy. Y'all my main sponsors, who always have my back, through thick and thin. And, it was pretty cool, even after this last fight. A lot of times, I'm kind of a sponsor machine. So I have a lot of high dollar sponsors, and sometimes after losses, we usually lose a couple. And, I've been very blessed that I kept all 6 main sponsors and no one's gone anywhere. So a blessing. And, so we definitely have something to prove in September when we come back, make a statement and, get back to the hammer ways and knocking dudes out. You know what I'm saying? Chin checking.
Fuck yeah, man. Well, you are extremely humble and a very, very knowledgeable person. Not to mention that you knock people out for a living, which is fucking incredible. So we appreciate you coming through, and you are welcome back anytime. Mike, what do you got?
Hey, thank you for staying on for so long and amusing us with answering all these questions that we had for you. I mean, that was great.
Right
so,
on.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys having me, man. And let me get it out, get everything out, and give that respect to Frank Tate. And we just had a bad night, but I appreciate you letting me, talk to the fans and the haters as well, and entertain the people for the evening. So I appreciate it, and I'll be back, before the next fight, and we'll definitely break that down.
All right, man. Look forward to talking to you.
Right on, guys. Have a great night.
You too. Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Yep.
What a fucking awesome guy, dude.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
That was awesome. The hammer and nail. That was super cool. I want to say thank you to Josh Burns for stopping in, and he was on for a long time. He was. That was great of him. He had a lot to say. He said he wanted to get a lot of things off his chest. That fight obviously didn't go his way, and he made it very clear that he took the loss like an absolute champion. So, with that said, I want to thank Maia Kahuanaele. God damn it.
You already forgot? All it takes is 2 hours, and that's it.
Kahuanaele.
She would say no.
Good enough. No, she would
Not
say
good enough. She'd say
She would say close enough.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong.
So thank you to Maia for coming on. Thank you to our good friend Joe Rogers from J. William Photography. Everybody should go check out him. His photography work is extremely impressive. He really has an eye for it, and I'm proud of him for that.
What do you think the odds are that he comes with us in June?
Dude, I thought of that today when we were talking about having Joe on, and I'm like, man, this kid's photography career is really taking off, and he does some awesome shit, man. He's really good, and he knows what the hell he's doing. I was like, man, what if the Mission Accomplished Mike and Mish show team got themselves a photographer? You know what I mean? Like, and then we don't have to worry.
You were talking about, well, actually, I think Maia, right? Is that right? Maia. She said, hey, let's do a calendar in the meantime. Shit. So I was like, oh, boom, perfect. Have him shoot the calendar. Get in there. Get in Feldman's ear. Shoot the calendar, buddy. And then come with us
I thought you were saying that.
No, I was saying come with us in June, but I'm saying he could do that too.
Right. No, but when we were talking about calendars, I thought you were going to say, oh, you and I should take turns. January me, February you, March me. April you. We'll go back and forth.
Well, what are you talking about in 2023?
Yeah. We'll give us 2
years.
All
right, 2023.
Give us 2 years to get back in the gym, and then
that's right.
Yeah. It would be like one of those fireman calendars. You know what I mean?
Listen,
but
yeah, even in like a year, I could probably turn it around pretty good.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you, Maia. Thank you, Joro, and thank you, Josh Burns, for stopping through. Make sure everybody tunes in tomorrow night. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, folks. Jamie Driver, followed by Tyler Goodjohn with me and Mike. It should be a fucking banger. Right, Mike?
Absolutely. It's going to be awesome.
All right. Well, with that said, I will be hanging up because we've been on for 2 hours and 8 minutes, folks. Thank you for tuning in. We love you. We will see you tomorrow night. Peace.